Estevez tries directing. Today's game of the week pits the New York Mets versus the Philadelphia Phillies and cannon against cannon. For the Mets, it'll be Gary Carter. He homered last night. He's hit more home runs at Veterans Stadium than any other visiting player. He also picked up 5 RBIs to beat the Phils. He'll go up against Mike Schmidt, the veteran who has hit 459 home runs in his brilliant 15-year career. So it should be muscle against muscle, Carter against Schmidt. But there's more to it than that, because there will also be the contrast on the mound. The 23-year-old Hawaiian, Sid Fernandez, who could very well be the standout young pitcher in the league, against 41-year-old Steve Carlton. He's won 314, but the question is he on his way out? They'll all go head-to-head today at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia.
Now in its 6th decade of bringing you baseball's memories. Baseball's milestones. Baseball's majesty. And baseball's magical moments. Proudly presents the Major League Baseball Game of the Week. Today, from Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, it's the New York Mets versus the Philadelphia Phillies. The Game of the Week is brought to you by Miller Lite. For great taste, there is only one light beer. By Ford and your local Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford? Every time you wash your car. And by Hyplex Lawn and Garden Products. Hyplex, spread the word.
From Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, with temperatures 60 degrees, it's the second game of the series between the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets.
All right, everybody. Sorry about the audio quality, but that's the best I could get off of YouTube. So had a little bit of a glitch in there, but hopefully not too bad. We are at Veterans Stadium for the first game in the 1986 Game of the Week. It's not really a 1986 replay per se. I'm going to let the Stratomatic computer sim everything, and so I guess we'll keep stuff going that way, but it's not a straight out 86 per se because I'm using multiple game engines to get things done. First, wanted to say good morning to those in the chat so far. John Selner and Robert from RJL Network, who's definitely looking forward to his Mets showing up. So let me get my things all set up. I got as much pomp and circumstance as I could come up with, which isn't a whole lot, but for me, I guess it's something. People seem to like to have the lineup as opposed to the score sheet. So what I've got lined up is I've got this board. Let me put it up here a little further. And you can see this is the starting lineups for both teams as well as the bench players who they have available. And instead of using the cards, the player cards themselves on the base paths, because they're kind of big, I printed these things out. So as each player gets on base, you'll be able to see who it is. And hopefully that shows up pretty decently. Like I said, this is an experiment. First time I'm trying to do that particular thing. I did play a practice game of inside pitch earlier this morning to make sure I knew what I was doing, or at least thought I knew what I was doing. And actually, hello BB, how are you? And Tim from formerly Tribe Fan. When I did the practice game, it actually came back to me pretty quickly. I was surprised that it was almost like riding a bike, as it came back to me pretty quickly. I need to move this over here so that we can get the dice tray involved. So, and I do see that RJL is, I remember he's got the Orioles and the Royals tonight on inside pitch. I believe you said Jim Palmer is pitching for the, no, I'm sorry, it's McGregor is pitching for the Orioles, if I remember correctly. Not sure who he said was pitching for the Royals, but I remember McGregor, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's McGregor. I think it was two left-handers, so I think it's maybe another left-hander that's going for the Royals, but I could be wrong. All right, so we are at Veterans Stadium, and we need the card there. So it's Gura. Okay, thank you, Robert. I thought it was two lefties, Gura versus McGregor. So we got the stadium card there because obviously that's part of inside pitch. You got to have the stadium involved. Veterans Stadium adds 1 to strikeout and 1 to walk, nothing to home runs. Like I said, you can see there, I don't have to go through the lineup because it's already there. And if you're wondering who's on the bench for both teams, that's who they have available off the bench. I will go ahead and run through the bullpen guys because it didn't really have room to put all the bullpen guys on there. So we'll go through the bullpen first for the Mets. And they do have 3 right-handers and 3 lefties that are available in the bullpen. First is Roger McDowell. Next is Bruce Bereni. And then Ed Lynch, who they picked up from the Cubs, or who would later go to the Cubs, I should say. They would trade him to the Cubs later on. Lefties, they do have Bobby Ojeda. He didn't start until like the April 22nd, so his first couple games, he had 2 games of relief, and this is the time of year he was doing that. Hello, Mike. Good to see you. So Ojeda is in the bullpen today for relief purposes. They also have Randy Neiman, a lefty, and the closer, Jesse Orosco. So those are the 6 bullpen arms that Davey Johnson has to work with as the situations come up. Let's go to the Philly bullpen. They actually have 7 bullpen pitchers. A couple of them are starters as well, or part-time starters, I should say. From the right side, Charlie Hudson, or Charles Hudson, however you want to call him. Dave Stewart, who would later get traded to the A's, he's available. Larry Anderson, who would later get traded to Houston, he's available. Steve Bedrosian, their closer, as well as the venerable Kent Tekulve. So those are from the right side. 2 lefties that they have available, Don Carmen and Dave Rucker. So those are the bullpen arms for the Phillies. So you know who the bullpen arms, and you already can see who the bench players are. So if you don't see them there, and you didn't see them when I was doing the bullpen guys, they aren't on the roster for the opening day or for this particular game. They weren't on the 25 or 24-man roster, whatever it happens to be. So let me get my little base running dudes available here for me. Since the Phillies are the home team, we will be using red and white dice. It seems to be appropriate to use the home team's dice. Robert, I appreciate that. Like I said, I played a game this morning. Nothing really weird came up, but the part that usually gets me, if there's anything that usually gets me, it's when I have to go to these secondary throw charts. That's the one that usually gives me trouble. So I'm hoping to avoid that. I've got the line score here with the outs. I do have the game on the score sheet, so I am able to score it. Phillies actually won this game in 14 innings, 9-8 in real life, if you're curious about that. Steve Carlton is on the mound. Had a bad season, 9-14. And let me do something else here. And I believe before we get going that we're going to have Gary Carter. Hello, Brad. How you doing? We're going to have Gary Carter announce the Mets starting lineup.
Hi,
everybody. This is Gary Carter, and welcome to NBC's first game of the week. Leading off will be Lenny Dykstra playing center field. Batting second will be the newly acquired Tim Tuffle. Batting third, our Gold Glover, Keith Hernandez. Yours truly will be back behind the plate today. Batting fifth will be Darryl Strawberry. Batting sixth and playing left field will be George Foster. Batting seventh will be playing Ray Knight at third base. Shortstop will be Rafael Santana batting eighth, and El Cid on the mound today batting ninth. Pull up a chair and have a great day.
All right, Gary, pull up a couple of chairs. Pull up a couch. Put the wagons in a circle. Now let's get going. Game one on our NBC Game of the Week.
All right. We are now ready to go, as Gary Carter has christened us into the start of the ball game. Let me check my camera. Let me check on the computer to make sure everything is showing up the way I would like it. The good thing about Inside Pitch, only two charts, the rare play chart and this one two-sided chart, so pretty easy to navigate there. Yeah, Brad, there's no, Frenchie wasn't around in 1986, so we have to wait a while for him. So let me go ahead and make sure that this is out here. Something's going on here. Why is this not showing? I don't know what's going on with my little thingy here. Did I pause this by accident? I did, didn't I? Okay. That's why it's not showing up. There we go. Okay. So it looks like Lenny Dykstra's card shows it in good view. Dice tray looks like it's in good view. Looks like everything is as low budget as I am. This is about as good as it's going to get as far as aesthetics and pomp and circumstance. Just mainly did that because of its opening NBC Game of the Week. So we are ready to go, and I'm glad Robert is here. So hopefully if I make any mistakes, Robert can let me know about it. All right, so Steve Carlton, the lefty, in there to face Lenny Dykstra. See what can happen here. Like I said, I did sim on Stratomatic, the computer. I did sim the games up to this point, but I mean, the teams have played like 3 or 4 games, so it's really not worth going over their stats or their records. So here we go. It's the first NBC Game of the Week. It was played April the 12th, but of course April the 9th is the Saturday here in 2022. Couldn't match it up exactly the way I would like when I did the 1982 one because they were in sync, but oh well, here we go. Carlton to Dykstra. 1-6, that's a strikeout plus to a lefty. He is a strikeout of 8. The plus makes it an 18. The stadium even adds 1, makes it a 19. So that 18 fits, and Lenny Dykstra goes down on strikes. 1 away. And I did forget one thing, so I need to make sure I grab that. I did want to have an extra token. I'm actually using this for the outs, and I'm using this to figure so you can see who the batting order is, or who's up next in the batting order. So I did want to do that. That way, like when the Mets are on defense, you know who's coming up in the top of the second, that sort of thing. So I wanted to get that all straight. But Carlton off to a good start with that strikeout plus. Came in handy. Got to bring up Tim Tuffle. He is the platoon guy. He plays second base against lefties. Wally Backman sits out against lefties. Carlton to Tuffle. That's a leaner, so we're going to re-roll that. 2-2. That's a blank on Carlton, so we go to Tim Tuffle. And that is a 4-2. 4-2 is a fly to center. That is out number 2, so a quick start here for Carlton. He didn't start that way in the real game, but he's starting out well now. Hello, Phantom Mac. How you doing? Oh, forgot to put Keith Hernandez up here. That would help, wouldn't it? All right, 5-4. 5-4 is a strikeout chance. Hernandez against lefties is a 6. Stadium adds 1 to 7, but that's a 12. It doesn't fit. So Hernandez will swing. 4-3. That's a star line 3, which on Carlton is a ground ball to short. He's more of a ground ball pitcher. He's got 4 outs on ground balls, only 2 on fly balls. But the inning's over. It's a 1-2-3 inning. And Gary Carter will lead off the top of the second for the Mets. But Carlton, very efficient. 1-2-3, takes care of business. Doing a little bit of Bachman-Turner overdrive, taking care of business, and gets it done. on that ground ball to short. So after half an inning of play, it's the Mets nothing, and the Phillies coming to bat. And El Cid, the lefty, gets his start, and he'll be facing left fielder Gary Redus. Gary Redus to start us off here in the bottom of the first. No score from the vet. El Cid, 2-5 ballpark card going to the vet right away. Veterans Stadium. We get a 5-4, and that is a question mark 7. And the result here is a 1, so that's a base hit for Gary Redus. A leadoff single for Gary Redus. Redus is aboard, and he's got a attempt of 7. Hernandez doesn't add anything, but a 1-7, he can attempt to steal. It's a 13, so nothing going on. Infield is halfway for the double play as Milt Thompson steps to the plate. And it helped to put Milt Thompson up there, wouldn't it? All right, so 4-5. 4-5 is a hit by pitch chance. He's a 2. -5 from El Cid, so no hit by pitch chances. But Thompson will swing. That's a 2-4. Question mark 8 against the lefty. A 1-13 is a hit. That's an 11. That's a double. It's a double to center field. Double to center field for Milt Thompson. And now the base running, and that's where people like to say this game is confusing. It can be, but I don't think it's as bad as people put it out to be. RJL, I did not have time to do your little cheat sheet grid, so I'm just going to have to wing it from here. Redus runs at a 4. Center fielder arm is Dykstra. He's a 0. To score from first on a double to center field, you lose 1. That makes it a 3. So a 1-3, and Redus will score. 5, he's got to hold. So Redus puts the brakes on. And the Phillies, with the first 2 batters of the game, putting El Cid in jeopardy right away for Juan Samuel. Juan Samuel stepping to the plate. Second and third, nobody out. Infield's going to play back. It's early. They don't want to give up a big inning if they can avoid it, so they will give up a run on a ground ball. First, we'll do the strategy roll because there is a pickoff error chance for El Cid. That's a 20, so it's a pickoff error chance on a 1. Anything other than a 1, it's a no play. That's a no play. So El Cid facing Samuel. 4-5, and that's another hit by pitch chance. He's a -5. That's a 9, so that's a 4. 16 doesn't fit, so we go to Samuel. 4-6, he's going to pop it to third. That's the first out of the inning, and El Cid gets a huge out there, and the base runners do not advance. Now with 1 out, and Mike Schmidt to the plate. I still don't think you bring the infield in with Schmitty up there. I think they're going to let him swing away with the infield back. BB, I like Redus not in the temptation better, but that's all right. We each have our own little things there. All right, so Cid to Schmidt. 2-5, and that's the ballpark card going back to Veterans Stadium. 5-5, that's a double to right field. That will score both runs. A 2-run double off the bat. If I can get this thing off of here. A 2-run double off the bat of Michael Jack Schmidt. And the Phillies lead it 2-0. How about that? RJL groans, but the stadium cheers. A 2-run double for Mike Schmidt off the Veterans Stadium ballpark card. And we got a 2-0 ball game right off the bat. And Sid Fernandez has to regroup. He'll be facing Glenn Wilson, the right fielder. Strategy roll, nothing happening. Here's Wilson. Fernandez to Wilson, 5-4. That's a walk plus. He walks at an 8. Stadium adds one's a 9. The plus is a 19. The 18 fits. So Glenn Wilson draws the walk. Now, one thing it does do is it does set up a double play. But I don't think really Sid wanted to do that. But John Russell is up. He's got a double play rating of 2, so possibly could turn a double play here. Nothing on this. The only thing that's going to happen on strategy roll is if we roll a 20, and we didn't do that. So here's Russell. Infield double play depth. They're halfway. El Cid, 6-3. That's a blank to a righty Russell, so Russell will swing away. 4-1. It's a ground ball to short. They might get the double play they were looking for. Russell's a 2. They were halfway, makes it a 3. El Cid adds nothing. The pivot at second base is Tuffle. He actually is a -1, so it drops it back to a 2. A 1-2, you get a double play. And they do. They turn it. How about that? Nice 6-4-3 double play turned by Santana and Tuffle. So despite his -1 pivot rating, he was hit hard enough on the turf to get it done. But the Phillies grab a 2-0 lead. 2-0 lead after 1 complete here at the Vet. And again, RJL says it's about time they got some outs. And now we're going to the top of the second. Steve Carlton had that 1-2-3 top of the second, or top of the first rather. He's going to face the kid, Gary Carter. Start things off with the Mets in a 2-0 hole, which they are unaccustomed to doing. Hello, Mr. Mets. How are you? All right, so Carlton to Carter. 6-5. That's a straight-up home run chance to a righty. Carter's a 20. It's automatic. It is gone. Gary Carter says kaboom, and he just put the Mets on the board. It's now 2-1. Big blast from Gary Carter. And it won't take long to get runs against Carlton, apparently. Here is Strawberry. 5-5. That's a possible error on a throw. 1-6, star 6 is a fly to right, so no error to worry about there. Strawberry flies to Wilson in right field for 1 down, and that brings up the venerable George Foster from the Cincinnati Reds fame, Big Red Machine fame. Carlton to Foster. 2-1, possible error. That's a 1-6. That's a ground ball back to Carlton. He's got a 0 error rating, so it's not going to be a problem. That's 2 away. So 2 down for Nancy Lopez's husband. I think they're still married, I guess. I don't know. I don't follow him. But at least at one time he was married to Nancy Lopez. I think he still is. Here's Ray Knight. 3-1, strikeout chance. That's a 9. He only strikes out at a 5. Stadium only adds 1 for a 6. That is a 9, so no strikeout. He will swing 4-1, and against the lefty, he singles past first. So Ray Knight, good at hitting the lefties, and it shows up right there. So a 2-out single for Ray Knight, as the Mets will now send up Santana. Knight is no threat to run whatsoever. He can't even attempt anything. He can only go on a hit and run, and with 2 outs, you don't do a hit and run, so no worries there. Carlton does have a chance for a pickoff or a balk on a 1-3. Okay, not married. Okay, I knew he was at one time, but so no 20, so nothing going on. So Santana, the batter. 4-2. That's a strikeout chance. That's a 15, way too high. So we go to Santana. 2-4, and that's a ground ball to short. That's going to end the inning. Not that it matters, but we'll say that Jeltz goes the short way to second base to Samuel for a fielder's choice to end the inning. So El Cid will lead off next inning. So we go to the bottom of the second. It is Phillies 2, Mets 1. So El Cid gets a run support, a little bit of runs, so maybe that perks him up a bit. We'll see. Rick Really Big Shoe is going to lead things off for the Phillies. It'll be Shoe, Jeltz, and Carlton. El Cid fires 5-4. That's a walk plus. He's getting done in by those walk pluses, and that's not good either. So Shoe will walk down to first base on a leadoff walk. And that will bring up Steve Jeltz. Let's check Shu. His attempt is a 1, so not very good, but we'll roll for it anyway. Nothing's happening. Here's Jeltz, switch hitter, batting right-handed. Infield double play depth. 1-3 is a strikeout chance. 8, he got him. So he put the K on Jeltz. 1 down, and that brings up Steve Carlton, who was actually a decent hitter. He hit 200 for a pitcher. That's pretty good. So they will not have him bunt with 1 out. They're going to have him swing away. Nothing on the strat roll. Two 6, and that's a walk chance, and he will walk him. So he walks the pitcher. El Cid walks Steve Carlton. Go figure. That low number on the D20 did him in. So go figure. Shu is at second. Carlton is now at first. Cardinal sin walking the pitcher. Even though it's the Phillies, it's still a cardinal sin. And we're back to the top of the order for Gary Reedus. Reedus singled and scored his first trip. And El Cid causing himself problems with these base on balls. That's 2 walks in the inning. Nothing on the strategy roll. Here's Fernandez to Gary Reedus. 6-5 strikeout chance, but 18 is way too high for that. Go to Reedus. 5-6 ground ball to short. Possible double play. There we're in halfway. He's a 2. Halfway makes it a 3. The pivot, though, Tuffle is a -1. Drops it to a 2. 1-2 for a double play. It's a 4, so no double play, but they will get Carlton on the force. So Shu will take third base. Oops. Shu will take third base, and safe at first is the leadoff man, Gary Reedus. And he could possibly think about trying to run, potentially. His attempt is a 7. Now there are 2 outs. That is a 7. Does he attempt to run with 2 outs and get in scoring position, or take a chance of getting thrown out? He is a 16, and El Cid gives him a +3 for a 19. Carter is a +1 arm for a 20. So anything other than a 20, he'll be safe. So they're going to send him. And it's a 20. He got thrown out. Good. I told you, D20s are evil. I don't know what else to say about it. They're just evil. It's insane. They are evil. They are definitely evil. So caught stealing is Gary Reedus. It's going to go 2-4 as Tuffle put on the tag, and the inning is over. Thompson, who was at the plate, will have to lead off next inning. So the caught stealing, 1 in 5 chance, a 5% chance you will get caught, and they found it with that D20. The D20 is evil, no question about it. It's definitely evil. BB, not only did we have a really big Shu here and Bigfoot Lad, but I believe a game or 2 ago we also had Barry Foote. So, got a whole lot of things there going on with the anatomy. All right, so El Cid catches a break. We go to the third. Still a 2-1 game. And El Cid will actually lead off the top of the third. Decent hitter, a $162 for a pitcher. That's not really all that bad. Not quite Dan Schatzeder from 1979, but still not bad. Carlton, 3-1's a strikeout chance, though, so he got him. So El Cid sits down with a K. Second strikeout for Carlton. And we're back to Lenny Dykstra, who also struck out to start the game. 6-3, it's a strikeout chance, and he got him again. So how about that? The low D20s are killing him. And that is a strikeout again. 2 up and 2 down for Tim Tuffle. Tuffle flew to center his first chance. 6-5. And 6-5. That right-handed home run chance again might get to Carlton. Home run for Tuffle is a 6, but that's an 11. So Tuffle does not get the home run, but he will swing. 5-6. It's a star 6. It's a fly to right to end the inning. So Carlton ditched a catastrophe there as Tuffle just didn't have enough oomph to get it there. And we go to the bottom of the third, still 2-1 favor of the Phillies. So Milt Thompson will lead it off. He was at the plate when Gary Reedus was inexplicably caught stealing on the D20 roll. So Milt Thompson doubled and scored his first time up. 5-4, and that's a walk plus. Boy, that's just killing Fernandez to get these walk pluses. I think it's like the third time that's come up, and Thompson is aboard, and he does have an attempt of 5. See if he gets a jump. It's a 6, so potential hit and run, but Sam Wells strikes out way too much, I think, so especially against lefties. He's got a 17 strikeout rating, so we're not going to do that. But Thompson will draw the leadoff walk. Infield's at double play depth. 1-3, that's a strikeout chance, and he got him, so he needed that one. He gets the K on Sam Well, and that brings up Mike Schmidt, who had the big 2-run double his first time up. Thompson again on the strat roll. It's a 5, but do we want to send him with Schmidt batting? I think with Schmidt batting, you let Schmidt swing away here. So 6-4 is a range play at the Vet. So we go to Veterans Stadium for a range play. That's a 5-1, and that's a single to right field, but Darryl Strawberry has a chance to take that away. And Strawberry in right field is only a 2, though, so not a good chance to do that. He does, though. How about that? Darryl Strawberry takes a base hit away from Mike Schmidt. Schmidt thought he had one, but it was not to be. Strawberry ran it down, and if he didn't get to that, it probably would have been runners on the corners and 1 out, so El Cid is very thankful for that. So 2 down, and that brings up Glenn Wilson. Glenn Surfing USA Wilson. Whoops. Strategy roll 4 again. Now, do we send him now? Because with 2 outs, you want to get in scoring position. Thompson was a attempt of 5. His stolen base attempt is a 17. Plus the 3 is a 20. Carter's a 21. But again, anything other than a 20, he will make it. So you can't get a 20 twice in a row. I just don't think that. And he didn't. So this time Thompson was able to get the stolen base. So he is in scoring position for Wilson. Nothing on the strategy roll here. So he's in scoring position for Wilson. Wilson walked his first chance. Fernandez, 5-6. That's a possible error. 2-3, and that is a fly to right, but that's a 12, and Strawberry only is a 6 for an error rating, so he will make the play, and the inning is over. So 2 defensive, not necessarily gems, but nice play by Strawberry. Keeps the score at 2-1 after 3 complete here from the Vet. All right. Carlton back out. And he will be facing Hernandez, Carter, and Strawberry, the heart of the order, here in the top of the 4th. Keith Hernandez grounded to short his first trip. 4-4, that is a possible error on a ground ball. That's a 2-6. That's a liner to short, so no ground ball there. It's just a straight liner to short to end the inning. Or not to end the inning, but to make an out. And even if it was an error, it was a 20 on the D20, so there wouldn't have been one anyway. And here is Gary Carter. Homered his first chance. Oh, how that D20 did a little loop-de-loop there. 2-6. That's a blank on Carlton. We go to Carter. 2-2. Fly to center, so Carlton gets Carter that time. Flies it to center field. Easily put away by Thompson. 2 down for the straw man, Darryl Strawberry. Strawberry flew to right his first chance. Hello, Sebastian. How you doing? 5-4. Carlton on a 5-4 is a strikeout chance. That's a 1. So again, the low D20 kills him. And Strawberry whiffs to end the inning. And we go to the bottom of the 4th. 2-1 ball game. I appreciate that, Sebastian. This is something new I'm trying. I try to think of everything I could possibly do because I remember RJL said this is a visual media and people like the visual stuff. So rather than the meat and potatoes of the score sheet, decided to do this. But then without the score sheet, I wanted to at least have the lineup there, line score and the outs, and the base runners and all that good stuff. So hopefully it's looking okay. We shall see. And hopefully I don't make any mistakes here on inside pitch since I haven't played it in so long. Alrighty. So John Russell will lead things off. He hit into a double play in the first inning that ended the first inning. El Cid needs to avoid these walks. 5-2 is a wild pitch. That's just a ball one. 1-3 is a strikeout chance. 8 will get him. So John Russell down on strikes. Strikeout for El Cid, and that is his third strikeout. Problem for El Cid is he's also walked 4. So he struck out 3, but he's walked 4. And now here comes Rick Really Big Shoe. 1-2, that's a blank to a righty. 2-4, that's a question mark 7 against a lefty 1-10. That's a 2, so it's a base hit for Rick Really Big Shoe. So he stepped into that one and got himself a base hit. Rick Shoe reached base twice, walked, and now singled. Not much of a throw. He's got an attempt of 1. So nothing happening there. Brings up the shortstop Steve Jeltz. Mets playing double play depth. Tuffle in there to face the lefty, but it hurts their pivot. He's only a -1 on the pivot. 2-5 for Sid goes to the ballpark card. So we're going back to Veterans Stadium for Steve Jeltz. 6-2, that's a home run to the pull side, but he has no power. So it's simply going to be a deep fly to right field because Jeltz had no power. So El Cid caught a break. That roll came up with a weak hitting shortstop and actually went to the left side because he's batting right-handed against the lefty. So my bad, it's actually went to left field, not right field. So George Foster made that catch. 2 down, and that brings up the pitcher, Steve Carlton. He walked his first time up. Kind of strange that happened. Strategy roll, nothing happening, no pickoff or anything. El Cid, 4-2. That's a strikeout chance, and he gets Carlton to end the inning. So El Cid has settled in since that first inning, but right now he finds himself on the short end of the stick of a 2-1 game. But there's still 5 innings remaining, so anything can happen, as they say. And Carlton's not exactly his 1977 self here. He's 86 at the end of his career, so he's gettable. And here's George Foster. I'm sure they had some battles back in the 70s when the Reds played the Phillies. Foster grounded back to Carlton his first time up. Hello, Mr. Al, Red Sox fan. How are you? As RJL says, probably the premier stalwart of streaming games of all varieties, not just baseball. 5-1 for Carlton is a ball 1, so we'll try again. 3-6, that's a walk plus. So this time Carlton gets hit with the walk plus. Foster's a 6. Stadium Adds-One makes it a 7, but the plus gives him a 17, so the 11 fits. And George Foster will get himself a leadoff walk to start the top of the 5th. He is the tying run. He has an attempt of 1, though, so not likely to run. Nope, nothing happening there. So that brings up Ray Knight. Knight singled his first time up. 2-3 for Carlton's a strikeout chance, but the 20 is too high, so we go to Knight. 6-4, he lines it to short, possible double play, but not likely. According to the chart, with a runner at first, a line drive to short, you have to have a 1 in order for it to be an out. And it's not. So Foster gets back. Knight is out, 1 down. And that brings up Rafael Santana. Trying to change his evil ways. 1-1, that's a range play at Veterans Stadium. Hello, Mr. Beatles, how are you? 5-3 on a range play. That's a blank, which means that's a rare play, so it overrides a range play. We're going straight to the rare play chart. Rare play chart. So let's see what we get here on the rare play with the men on base. We get a 51, and the rare play chart says on a 51, left fielder dives after a sinking liner, resolve as an S7 range play, then check for injury. So it's possible Regis could be injured But first things first, we check for the range. Ritas is a range of 4, so a good chance he might make this play. And he does. So it's a line out to left field, but as he slides on the turf, he may have come up with a possible injury. We're looking at Gary Ritas, and his injury rating is a 2. So we go over to the chart and check the injury number 2. According to this, injury number 2 has to roll a 1 to stay in the game. Anything else, he's got to come out. So he's got to come out. So Ritas made the nice play, but he's unable to continue, and he will have to be replaced in left field. Hello, Ronald. How are you doing? So Gary Ritas will leave the ball game, and we'll see who the new left fielder is going to be. They would like to ideally use a right-handed hitter. So they're going to go with Gary Maddox, and they're actually going to move Thompson to left field, and Maddox will be in center field. So the venerable Gary Maddox, he actually didn't get much time. I had to do a PDF card of him. He only had 7 at-bats in 6 games. But he was on the roster at this time. So Maddox is a 3, a 0, and a +1 arm. Well, you can tell he fell off big time because he used to be a Gold Glover. But Maddox will be on, so we scratch off Maddox from our bench players, and we replace him here. So Maddox is your new center fielder, and Thompson is in left field. So that's the way that has to go. And what do you know it? Ritas was going to lead off the next inning, so it's going to be Maddox leading off the next inning instead. So Ritas, unfortunately, is unable to continue, but he did make the nice catch on Santana for out number 2. And now that I bring up El Cid, strategy roll, nothing happening. So Carlton to El Cid. 4-6 is a possible walk. El Cid walks at a 4, but the stadium adds 1, gives him a 5. That is a 5. How do you like that? They walked the pitcher. El Cid walked Carlton earlier, and now Carlton has returned the favor and walked El Cid. And now there are 2 on. 2 on with 2 out. And that will send up Lenny Dykstra. The tying run in George Foster, although he doesn't run well, he is on second base. Doesn't take much to score on an outfield hit. So Carlton's got to check things out here. Nothing on the strategy roll. Carlton to Dykstra. 2-2. It's a blank, so we go to Dykstra's card. 5-3. He flies to right, and that's going to end the inning. So Dykstra comes up empty, and Carlton escapes further damage. So we go to the bottom of the 5th. Bottom of the 5th we go. Still 2-1. Favor of the Phillies. That is held up since the first inning. El Cid back out. Will be facing Gary Maddox. Came in for the injured Gary Ritas. So Maddox gets his first at bat. 5-5. That's a range play. Go to Maddox's card. 6-2. That's a single to left field, but George Foster has a chance to take that away. Not a good one. His range is only a 1. And it's not going to do it. You don't check for a double because it was already defaulted to be a single, or was it defaulted to be a fly? I think it was already defaulted to be a single, if I'm not mistaken. So it will be a base hit. Base hit for Gary Maddox. Let me get his little dude out here off the bench. So the venerable Gary Maddox with a leadoff single. He's got an attempt of 4, so you can't discount him for a stolen base. No, nothing happening. So that brings up Milt Thompson. Hello, Midlife. How are you doing? And hello, Coast Kid. Thank you very much. I appreciate any feedback. That way I know, to change something or keep something the way it is. It's a constant, constant change. Always trying to get something that looks, acceptable. So here's Milt Thompson. Maddox is not going to go anywhere, so Fernandez, pitch to Thompson. 6-1's a walk chance, and he walks him. So El Cid, his 5th walk he has issued in this game in less than 5 innings. So he's got the control problems going big time. And now 2 are on with nobody out for Juan Samuel. If he wasn't such a good hitter for power and whatnot, it would be a perfect time to bunt, but we're not going to do that. Nothing on the strategy. Here's Fernandez to Samuel, infield double play depth. 4-4 is a strikeout plus, so that helps him quite a bit. And he gets the K on Samuel. Now a double play would get him out of the inning, and it's Mr. Mike Schmidt up to the plate. Schmidt has doubled and flew to right. So El Cid not out of the woods yet by any means. 4-6, that's another strikeout plus. So El Cid coming back with the strikeout pluses, gets 2 quick strikeouts. And now the infield can go fully back to their normal positions, so a range play will be a little bit easier for him. Here's Glenn Wilson. 5-4, and that's a walk plus. So the dreaded walk plus comes up again. And again, he will issue a free pass number 6. And we haven't made it through 5 innings yet. So he's Mr. Feast or Famine, either strikeout or walk, it seems. It does load the bases. And now we'll look at his number of batters faced. He can face 27. Glenn Wilson was batter number 23, so he's still okay fatigue-wise, but he's got to watch out for the runs. He's got to get John Russell to try to keep this score where it is at 2-1. Russell could blow this thing wide open. 1-6, that's another walk plus, and he walks in a run. So El Cid earning the Depends undergarment lack of control player of the game, has walked in a run. Thompson will go to third. Wilson takes second. And Russell, the new runner at first, is now 3-1. And up steps Rick Really Big Shoe. And he could really do something here. Bases loaded, 1 out, or 2 outs rather, 1 in for Shoe. Nothing on the strategy roll. El Cid, 5-5. That's a range play. The infield is back, so if it's to an infielder, they'll be fine. But it is a range play. Go to Shoe. 5-4. That's a single to right field, but Darryl Strawberry has a chance to take it away. He is only a 2, though. Whoops, that didn't go through the thing. Nope, he can't get it. He cannot get it, so instead of being a fly to right, it could be a double. Nope, it's a single to right field. So Strawberry unable to get to that one. He made a play earlier, but couldn't make it here. So let's see about the run rating. Thompson, of course, will score from third. Wilson will go to third. Can he score? That's the question. Glenn Wilson runs at a 3. Strawberry has a 0 arm. There are 2 outs. That makes him a 4. And to score on a single to right field, you add 1, makes it a 5. So 1-5, and Glenn Wilson will come in to score also. And he does. And it's a 1. So Rick Shoe with a 3 base running rating will actually take second on the throw. And Russell, assuming Russell does, yeah, Russell's a 2, so that he beat the 1 also. So Russell will take third, and Rick Shoe will take second on the throw. 2 runs come in on that single by Steve Jeltz. I'm sorry, by Rick Shoe. Getting ahead of myself. Single by Rick Shoe will bring in both Wilson and Thompson. 3 runs are in the inning. It's now 5-1, and the Met bullpen is feverishly working. Steve Jeltz is a switch hitter, so it really doesn't matter who you bring in that way. I think he's kind of a little bit better against righties probably, so we'll leave it at that. First base is open with Carlton on deck, so I think they're going to go ahead and walk Jeltz and not screw around. Even though he's not a very good hitter, they will walk Jeltz to load the bases for Steve Carlton, and this is the 27th batter that El Cid will face. And if he can't get Carlton, he's definitely done. So we shall see. Strategy roll. Nothing going on. El Cid, 6-6 strikeout chance, got him, and the inning's over. So the Phillies leave him loaded. But damage done. 3 runs. Makes it a 5-1 ball game. And that's going to be it for El Cid. I think he's done for the day because he has reached his fatigue level. So El Cid, not having the best of days, he will leave. We'll get a new pitcher for the Mets in the bottom of the 6th. Right now, top of the 6th, Steve Carlton's looking good with this 5-1 lead that his team has given him. His fatigue is a 25. Right now he's faced 19 batters, so he's still good to go. And already the chance of rigged are coming out, but there's still 4 innings left, so anything can happen. Mets have a tremendous offense, so they can certainly put the runs on the board. Tim Tuffle will get the first shot. He's 0 for 2 against Carlton. 6-3, that is a strikeout chance. 13, though, is too high. So Tuffle will get the swing. 4-6 is a single pass third base. So there you go. Here come the Mets on the rally. Leadoff single for Tim Tuffle. His first hit of the game. And it brings up the heart of the order. Hernandez, Carter, and Strawberry. This is where the Mets need to make hay right here. Strategy roll. Nothing happening. So we go to Hernandez. Carlton, 2-2 is a blank. We go to Hernandez's card. 3-2. 3-2 is a single to pass first base against a left-hander, so that will be a base hit for Keith Hernandez. Tuffle runs at a 2 to get from first to third on a single pass first. All you need is a 2. So Tuffle will make third base, and Keith Hernandez is on. So runners at the corners and nobody out, and that's what you want if you're the Mets. You want base runners to start filling up those base paths. They've got it. And now the Philly bullpen might start to stir a little bit, as they don't know if Carlton can make it through the order a third time around. Hello, Frank. How you doing? Won't be any Yankees-Red Sox head-to-head on the game of the week on this replay until I think maybe, and it may even depend on the standings, but I think I've got them scheduled in September. But other than that, they'll be on there, each team separate, but not against each other. In fact, next week on Payoff Pitch, it will be the Yankees and the Brewers from Milwaukee. But yeah, I'm limiting. I'm trying to get all the teams on the video, so no team in the first half before the All-Star break is on there more than twice. All right, so Gary Carter is up. Infield is at double play depth, as the Phillies need outs. They'll give it the run to get some outs. Here's Carter. Carlton to Carter. 1-5. That's a walk chance. 15 will be a walk. Carter walks it really well against lefties, so walk will load the bases. Not what Carlton wanted. The bases are now loaded with nobody out, and that 5-1 lead is now in jeopardy. And the straw man is coming up. Philly bullpen is loosening. Kent DeColvey is already loosening in the bullpen in back of Carlton. Again, bases loaded, infield is back. They need outs. Nothing on the strategy roll. Carlton to Strawberry. 3-5, and that's a home run question mark against lefties. It's a 1-6, but that's a 15. So Strawman cannot get the home run, but he can swing away and get some hits. 4-4, it's a question mark 8 against lefties. It goes to 17. That's a 7. That is a single for Darryl Strawberry. So he gets a base hit. Single is to center field. So the center fielder arm, in this case Maddox, the new center fielder, is a +1. We know Tuffle will score. How about Hernandez? Hernandez runs at a 2, but the +1 arm makes it a 3. Single to center, you add 2, gives him a 5. So 1-5, he will score. And it's a 1, he does score. That allows Carter, who runs at a 2, he will take the extra base. And Strawberry will take second on the throw because of that 1. They both have base running rates that exceed that. And so a bad decision by Maddox to throw through. It cost him. The single will produce 2 runs and will also allow both runners to get in scoring position. Now, all of a sudden, it's a 5-3 game with runners at second and third and nobody out still. And that's going to be it for Mr. Carlton. They will make a move to the bullpen, and we will get the venerable right-hander Kent DeColvey into the ball game. Yeah, midlife. I didn't see one on, so I don't know who it is. I just went to Baseball Reference and looked at the schedule. The Yankees and the Brewers were a day game, so I'm assuming NBC would have probably shown that, at least as one of their games, so that's what I went with. All right, so George Foster, so let me put into Colby on my score sheet. Colby is now in. Carlton had a rough 6th inning. He just couldn't get out of it. He only goes 5+. Giving up 3 runs, but the other 2 guys on base are his responsibility, so he could come away with a no decision. He cannot lose it. He could not lose it. The most he can give up is 5 runs, and that would tie the game, so he cannot lose it. They pulled him before he had a chance to take a loss. Nobody out, a 5-3 game. The infield's still going to play back. They're desperate for outs. Desperate for outs. All right, DeColvey has a chance for a balk, so we will roll the strategy roll. Nothing happening. So here's George Foster. DeColvey, 6-6. That's a possible error. 2-5. That's a pop-up to short. That's an 18, though, so Jeltz will make that easily. His error rating's only an 8. So it's a pop-up to short, and Foster really blows it that time because he couldn't even advance the runner. And now with 1 out, that brings up Ray Knight. Ray Knight is in the bat. Do the Phillies bring the infield in or not? I think with a 2-run lead, they're going to keep the infield back. They really want to make sure they get some more outs. They don't want a ball getting through the infield and scoring both runs. So here's DeColvey to Knight. 6-3, and that is a blank, so we go to Ray Knight's card. 2-4 for Knight. That's a ground ball to short. And this is where I got to make sure I'm doing it right. With the infield back, Carter runs at a 2. If they're conceding the run, if they're back, RJL, I may need your help on this. If they're conceding the run, to me, it's just a ground out to short, and I'll leave it at that. And I roll to see if Strawberry can make it to third, which I'll do here. Well, it's a 1. Let's see. What do you need to get to third? I think you need more than that. The ball hit to short. Runners hold on balls hit to short if roll is higher than base running. Okay, so they do go to third because his base running rating exceeds that roll of 1. But to me, Carter scores. And that's the way I'm going to play it anyway. With the infield back, if you're back, you're obviously conceding the run. So ground ball to short. Carter will score to make the score 5-4. Strawberry does take third base. There are now 2 outs, though. Okay, so I got it right. All right, good deal. All right, so here comes Santana. And you're not going to walk Santana because they would just pinch hit. They would just pinch hit for El Cid if that was the case, so which they're going to do anyway. So you're not going to walk him and get a good pinch hitter up there. They're going to make Santana do it. Strategy roll 2, nothing happening. DeColvey to Santana, 4-1. That's a blank. We go to Raphael. Tyne runs at third. 3-5. That's a ground ball to short, though, so the inning is over. But the Mets do pick up 2 runs and cut the lead to, they pick up 3 runs and cut the lead to 5. Let me make that look a little bit better. Thinking 2 is really 3. 5-4 is your score. And we'll get a new pitcher for the Mets because El Cid was at his limit anyway. So it's a 5-4 game as we go into the bottom of the 6th. Scheduled hitters, Maddox, Thompson, and Samuel. A lot of righties. So the Mets will go to a right-hander out of the pen. Seems to make the most sense. 3 runs. I got it right. I corrected myself. All right, so we need a right-hander. Who do we want to bring in as a right-hander reliever in the 6th inning? Kind of, McDowell's a little bit more of a closer type, so you don't really want to bring him in just yet. But your only other right-hander is Bruce Bereni or Ed Lynch. So we're going to go with Ed Lynch, even though he is showing as a Cub. He did start the season with the Mets. So Ed Lynch is your new pitcher. And he will come in and be facing the top of the order, Gary Maddox, Thompson, and Samuel. So El Cid goes 5 innings, and he's still in the hook for the loss because the Mets couldn't tie the game. And Carlton can actually win it because they didn't lose the lead, but it depends on if the Mets don't ever, or if the Phillies don't ever lose the lead, he would be the winner because he made it through the prerequisite of 5 innings. All right, so Gary Maddox steps to the plate. Singled his first time up. One 5, and that is a blank, so we go to Gary Maddox. 2-5, and that's a single pass first. He hit .429 and 7 at bats, so it's almost unfair to use him, I guess, but that's who I picked out with the injury. It was forced on me by the injury, so by the rare play injury. So Gary Maddox, 2 for 2. He's aboard. His attempt is a 4, -1 from Lynch is a 3. It's a 1, so he's got a chance to steal if he would like, but his stolen base rating is a 0, so he must have gotten caught at some point, so they will hold him there. They will not try anything. And Milt Thompson, the batter. Lynch, 5-1, hit by pitch chance, 2 but a -4, so no hit by pitch. Thompson will swing. 3-2, that's a single pass third, and that'll put runners at first and second. And boy, Ed Lynch is apparently not the answer that they were looking for. 2 on, nobody out, and the big boys coming up, Samuel and Schmidt. And a bunch of righties are in the lineup for the Phillies, so you might be stuck with Lynch for a while. We'll see. Strategy roll for pickoff, nothing happening. 3-4, and that is the ballpark. I'm sorry, it's a strikeout chance on a 3-4. That's a 4, struck him out. So Samuel goes down on strikes. He's got the hat trick. That's his 3rd strikeout of the game. So he's having some issues. That'll bring up Schmitty. Schmidt is 1 for 3. He had a 2-run double in the first, then he flew to right in the 3rd and struck out in the 5th. Nothing happened on the strategy roll. Lynch, 1-6 is a possible wild pitch, but he has no chance. Only a 1-3 pass ball. That's a 17. So it's simply going to be ball 1. 6-3, blank. We go to Schmidt. 5-4 for Schmidt is a fly to right. That is out number 2. The question is, can Maddox tag up and go to 3rd? On a fly to right, you lose 1 on your base running rating. And let's see, Maddox is a 1, so that drops into a 0. Strawberry's a 0, so he cannot move up at all. That is out number 2, and he will have to stay at second base. Here is Glenn Wilson. Nothing happening. 2-5, that's a strikeout chance to a righty. That's a 4, he got him. So Ed Lynch comes back and gets out of the jam. Keeps the score at 5-4 as he struck out Wilson. And we go to the 7th inning. 7th inning, and we'll get a new pitcher in the 7th inning for the Mets because Lynch is the scheduled leadoff hitter, and he will be pinch hit for, obviously. DeColvey coming back out. He can face 6 batters in relief. Let's see, he only faced 3, so he's still good. But the Mets need a pinch hitter, and they're going to go to pinch hitting extraordinaire Danny Heap, a lefty. So Danny Heap is coming on to pinch hit for the Mets here in the top of the 7th. You know what? Before I do that, Robert, you're the Mets fan. Do you want Danny Heap pinch hitting, or do you want somebody else off this list to pinch hit? I really want to keep Backman for replacement for Tuffle, but Johnson is available to switch. Corcoran's a lefty, Mitchell a righty, or Heap. I was going to use Heap. So are you okay with that? As a Met fan, I'll kind of defer to you a little bit to make sure that I'm not rigging anything. Hit with Heap is fine. Okay, very good. Thank you. So Danny Heap to pinch hit the top of the 7th in a 5-4 game against DeColvey. 4-6. That's a walk chance. That's a 6. And he will walk him. So Danny Heap, how about that? A pinch hit walk. You don't see that happen all that often. But it is a pinch hit walk for Danny Heap. He's got an attempt of 2, but I doubt he's going to try to go anywhere. Actually, it bumped up to a 4 because of DeColvey. And 9, nothing's happening. So Danny Heap with the leadoff walk, and we're back to the top of the order and Mr. Dykstra. See what Dykstra can do. Dykstra's 0 for 3. He struck out twice. He could definitely use one. DeColvey 3-1's a blank to a lefty. Go to Dykstra. Infield is halfway. 1-4 is a ground ball to short, possible double play. He's a 2. DeColvey doesn't add anything. They're halfway, makes it a 3. The pivot at second, Samuel is a 0. 1-3, it's a double play. It's a 6, so the runner's going to advance automatically. Dykstra is out. It goes 6-3. So it ended up like a pseudo-sacrifice bunt. And now Tuffle is up, but with DeColvey pitching, they're going to go to the bench and bring in Backman. He's more the platoon guy against right-handers. So Wally Backman will get the pinch hitting call. And, of course, stay in the game to play second base. Hopefully Robert's okay with that decision as well. That's why I didn't want to pinch hit with Backman for the pitcher spot, because I wanted to save him for this spot. So Backman will pinch hit and stay in the game to play second base. He's a much better defender, a 4-8 and a -1 versus a 2-6 and a -1. So he's up with 1 down, and this is batter number 6 for DeColvey. So this is his last batter before being tired. Let's see here, DeColvey with the strategy roll, nothing happening. So the Phillies do have their bullpen going with lefties coming up. They do have a lefty loosening in their pen. And that left-hander is Don Carmen. So Don Carmen is loosening the Philly bullpen. DeColvey to Backman. 5-1's a blank. We go to Backman. 6-3, that's a star 1, which is a ground ball to second. So that will automatically move Heap to third. But now there are 2 outs. And it's up to Keith Hernandez to get it done. Now, DeColvey is tired. Do they take him out? I think you kind of have to and play the percentages of lefty-lefty. So DeColvey will leave, and they will bring in Don Carmen. So Don Carmen is on. He's a starter/reliever. He did relieve in this game. He did relieve in this game in real life. So I feel, pretty good about using him without any reservations. So he is on in a big spot with 2 down and the tying run at third base. Carmen. Nothing on the strategy roll. Keith Hernandez, lefty on lefty against Carmen with 2 outs. 2-1, that's a range play. So we'll go to Hernandez for a range play. 6-1's a double to center field, but it's a range check on Gary Maddox. Gary Maddox is a range of 3, so he could take this double away if we get a 3 or less. He does. Gary Maddox comes in and steals a double away from Keith Hernandez and keeps the score at 5-4, and Don Carmen is very thankful of that. So nice play out there by Gary Maddox. The old man can still do it. He's not as good as he once was, but he's as good once as he ever was, and he makes that play. So now we go to the bullpen for the Mets as they pinch hit for Mr. Lynch. And now we've got, like I said, righties are coming up, so I think at this point in the game, they have no reservations about using Roger McDowell. So they're going to bring in Roger McDowell because really the closer, in theory, is Roscoe. So they will use Roger McDowell. They don't want this game to get away from them. They don't want to bring in Bereni, because the game might get away from him. So Roger McDowell will be the new pitcher, and he'll be facing Russell, Shue, and Jeltz. And if anybody gets on, they will pinch hit for Carmen. So hopefully, RJO, I'm managing your Mets at least in a decent, fair fashion. Might not be getting the best rolls in the world. 5-4, bottom of the seventh. Oh, a seventh inning stretch. I didn't even think about that. It is a seventh inning stretch. You can sing or take me out to the ball games or whatever you want to do to entertain yourself. Maybe Robert can tell a joke or something. I don't know. I'm all out of puns right now, so I'm just going to stand up and stretch my legs a little bit. And then we'll get ready for this bottom of the seventh. 5-4 game, Phillies clinging to that lead. And if they keep that lead and don't lose it, Carlton would get the victory and El Cid would take the loss. But we'll see what happens. Hello, Stephen. How are you doing? All right, I think I'm good. So I think we're good to go there. All righty, so John Russell will lead it off against Roger McDowell, 4-4. And that's a strikeout chance to a righty. That's a 1, so McDowell gets the K on Mr. Russell. 1 away, and here's Rick Shue. Yeah, I don't have Elton John doing Philadelphia Freedom yet. 2-4, and McDowell is a strikeout chance again, but that's a 20, so Shue will get the swing. 2-3, and that's a star 3, which is a ground ball to first, and Keith Hernandez will handle it easily himself. 2 down for Steve Jeltz. And that's going to send up Jeltz to bat left-handed for the first time. McDowell, 3-4, and that's the ballpark card. We all go into Veterans Stadium, but Jeltz cannot hit a home run. He had a home run to the pull side, his first chance on the ballpark card, and flew out because he has no power. 3-1, he flies to right, and Strawberry puts it away, and McDowell goes a 1-2-3 inning. No problema. And since we didn't get to the pitcher spot, Carmen will come back out and pitch the 8th inning. So we go to the 8th, still 5-4. It'll be Carter, Strawberry, and Foster due up for the Mets against Carmen. Carmen has a relief where he can face 5 batters. He's only faced 1, so obviously he's in good shape. They do have activity in their bullpen as right-handed action. They do have the right-hander Larry Anderson tossing just in case Carmen runs into trouble. Right now it is Gary Carter to lead things off. Hello, Midlife Crisis. I don't know if I saw you or not in there before. If I didn't, say hello. I'll say hello now. All right, so here we go. Carmen to Carter. 2-3, that's a possible error on a throw. 5-5, that is a fly to center, 1 away, so no worries there. And Robert, if I've made any mistakes, please let me know. Hopefully I'm trying not to. Hopefully I'm trying to play it smoothly as I can. Like I said, I haven't played in 4 months, and then I played a practice game this morning, but amazingly, most of it seems to be coming back to me, but hopefully I'm doing all right. Here's Strawberry. Lefty on lefty, 4-5. That is a blank, so we go on to Strawberry. 5-4, it's a ground ball to third. Shue's got it over to Schmidt, 2 down. And that'll bring up Foster. Foster is up with 2 outs and the base is clear. He does have some pop against lefties, though, so I'm not going to pinch hit for him. Carmen to Foster, 3-5. That's a wild pitch, ball 1. 1-5, that's a possible error. So we'll go to Foster for the error chance. 2-2, it's a ground ball to second, possible, that's a 3. That was a 3 there. Almost, I dinged it by accident, but it is going to be an error on Samuel. He's got an E-rate of 7. That was a 3, so Foster will reach on the error, and he will be pulled for a pinch runner and a defensive replacement. So they're going to bring in Kevin Mitchell. Kevin Mitchell will come in and run for Foster, and he will also stay in the game to play left field. So Mitchell will be taking the place of Foster. So Mitchell is your pinch runner. And again, like I said, he will stay in the game to play left field. You actually improve your defense as well as improving the speed. So Mitchell is on, and Ray Knight, the batter, and Knight really hits well against righties, so the Phillies will pull Mr. Carmen in favor of a right-hander, and that right-hander was the aforementioned Larry Anderson. He's carded with Houston because he gets traded to Houston later, but he starts the season with the Phillies. So Larry Anderson, 4th pitcher used by the Phillies, will be on. Try to get that third and final out of the 8th inning. Mitchell has a temp rating of 1 plus 2 from Anderson, makes him a 3. 1-3 to get a chance. Nope, nothing happening. So Knight will now face Anderson, but do you pinch hit for Knight with Howard Johnson is the question. If you do that, though, you run out of room. I mean, you got to save Johnson for the pitcher spot in the 9th inning, so I think you're going to have to let Knight hit here. 1-1 is a blank to a right-hander, so we go to Knight. 2-3 grounds to second, and that's going to end the inning. But you will see Howard Johnson in the top of the 9th because his pitcher spot will be coming up second. So nothing doing there. The bullpen of the Phillies worked out well. Roger McDowell went 1-2-3 in his inning, so he's going to stay out there for the 8th to try to keep it close. Bottom of the 8th we go. It'll be a pinch hitter for Anderson because the pitcher is scheduled to lead off this inning. So we'll get a pinch hitter for the Phillies, and it will be, let's see, do they go to Gross or do they go to Hayes? They're actually going to go to Von Hayes. So Von Hayes will get the pinch hitting call to start the bottom of the 8th. Von Hayes. All right, so McDowell. Yep, we don't have Mookie Wilson because of that eye injury. McDowell to the pinch hitter Von Hayes. 3-5 is a blank. We go to Hayes. 1-5. 1-5 is a ground ball to second, and Von Hayes is retired. So Hayes fails in the pinch hitting role. Back to Gary Maddox. 3-3. That is a strikeout chance. 16, though, is too high, so we go to Maddox. 3-1 is in a ground to second. That is out number 2. So Backman, the new second baseman, I'll tell you, when you come in and play a new defensive player, the ball finds you. But he was up to the task. 2 up and 2 down for Milt Thompson. 1-1, that's a possible error on a throw. 1-1 is a fly to left, so no worries there. The inning's over. McDowell pitches 2 solid innings of relief and keeps the score right where it is. But now the Mets will have to come back against the closer for the Phillies, that being Steve Bedrosian. So Steve Bedrosian will be on to try to close the deal. He had 29 saves in 1986. So Bedrosian, the 5th pitcher used by the Phillies. Mets end up using only 3 because McDowell went 2 innings to help cover some of those longer innings. But McDowell is going to leave, and we get the pinch hitter, Howard Johnson, because the pitcher spot is going to bat second. So we got Santana, and then we have the pinch hitter, Hojo. But they can't pinch hit for Santana because there's nobody left to use. Only guy they got left on the bench is backup. Well, they got Corcoran, but he hit 0 for 7 on the season, so I'm not going to use him. And they got backup catcher Barry Lyons. That's all that's left on the bench after we use Howard Johnson. So they use their best bench guys. That's the best you can do. Bedrosian to Santana, 6-1. Home run question mark, 1-11, but that's a 19. Santana had no power anyway. Go to Santana to swing. 3-5's a ground ball to short. 1 away. Start the top of the 9th. And now Hojo, Howard Johnson, will step up. He hit 245 on the 1986 season. Got good pop. He's got a 20 there for his home run. So if he gets a home run ball, he will tie the game. That's what the Mets are looking for, is a long ball. Chicks dig the long ball. 5-6. However, he found a strikeout chance. 5-5 would have been a home run and would have tied the game. 5-6 is a strikeout plus, and he got him. Boy, how close is that? One number made the difference. 5-5, you got a tie game. 5-6, you get strikeout plus. Just, Robert's going to say it now, the dice are rigged. That's just what happens. 2 down, last chance is Lenny Dykstra. He's the last chance for the Phillies. Bedrosian trying to save it. 5-6, strikeout plus the same roll we just had, and he strikes out Dykstra to end the ball game. There's your final. 5-4. So the 2 runs that the Phillies got in the top of the first gave them the lead. They never lost it, so that means Steve Carlton gets the win. And El Cid takes the loss with Bedrosian getting the save. Let me give you the totals here. I don't believe, let's see, there was 1 error in the game, and that was on the Phillies, so they committed the 1 error. 5-4. I'll get the totals for the hits here. 1, 2, for the Mets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got them only for 5 hits. They drew some walks, but they only got 5 hits. Left on base, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They left on 6. I don't have the computer doing this. This is all me manually, so I'm hoping I'm doing it right. For the Phillies, hits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got them for 8 hits, 5 runs and 8 hits, 1 error. Left on base, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They left on 10. So it could have been worse, but they left some guys on base. So I hope you guys enjoyed this new setup. Well, it's not really a new setup, it's just a little bit of a sprinkled setup. Trying to put as much aesthetics in there as possible. I don't know if you could see these little base runners very well, or whether it would be better to have, the whole card up there, but I was trying to do something to conserve room. RJL has a much bigger board than I've got, so he's got a perfect board that fits those cards to a T. Yes, Glenn, as soon as sometime later tonight probably, I will take the score sheet, enter it into the computer, so it will give the Phillies the win. So when I sim the rest of it, the Phillies will get this 5-4 win on, to their credit. So I definitely am entering the game on the computer. Thank you, Al. I appreciate it. For somebody who has a great setup, that's a nice. I'll take that as a nice compliment coming from you. I definitely value your opinion because, like I said, you and RJL have some of the best setups out there. So if you guys say it's copacetic, then I'll go with that. I did have to practice inside pitch. I did play a practice game this morning because I hadn't played in about 3 or 4 months at all. When I finished the last Washington Nationals game, I have not touched inside pitch since. Of course, I watch RJL play a lot, so try to keep my skills up. Hopefully I did okay with that. Next week is going to be the Yankees and the Brewers from Milwaukee on payoff pitch. So now I got to pull I have not played a game of payoff pitch since the new rules came out, so I've been watching some of RJL stuff and some of the Replay Gamer stuff and reading through the rule book and the charts, so I've got a week to get ready for that as well. Of course, during the week, I still want to play some of the Stratomatic Demolition League. I want to have to play all the games that I play offline and try to get them squared away. That will probably take me the whole week because that's 10 games I need to play. And then I need to practice at least 1 payoff pitch game as well to get ready for next Saturday. Normally this would be at noon, but with the scheduling conflict I had today, I've got to be somewhere at 1 o'clock. So I bumped it up to 11, but most days it's going to be high noon. Actually, I actually had fun with this, Robert, so hopefully, maybe we'll try it again. We'll see with payoff pitch. I'm hoping I can use the same kind of thing. We shall see. I may not go through the trouble of trying to print these things off. I don't know. I might use the tokens for the payoff pitch one. I just, on a whim, decided to do that and see how they would look because I have limited space here. I know the cards themselves took up too much room. So, like I said, it's all trial and error, so to speak. But I do hope you enjoy spending part of your Saturday with me as we dig back to 1986. Oh, Kurt did. I'll have to check his video out then. I'll check one of his videos out to make sure. And of course, I'm rereading the rule book, and everything as well. And I played it a lot in the past, so it's not like I've never played it. It's just you got to get used to it. And one thing I did do to get ready for that, because I think it just works out better than, for me, is I finally got one of these D10s that has the zeros on it. So I can fit in with the rest of the crowd and use, instead of using just the regular 10-sided die, I got the one that tells me what the 10s are. So that'll help out a bit. So I've got that. Got that going for next week. Payoff pitch, Yankees and the Brewers. And I believe, I got to remember what the pitching matchup is, and I don't remember off the top of my head who the pitching matchup is. I should have looked that up and I didn't. I don't think I have it in front of me. Probably don't. Unless it's in my little notebook here, which it might be. I'll double check it. Maybe it is. Let me pull this up and see if it's in there. May or may not be. I don't think it is, though. No, I think I had it at one point. Now I can't find it. Or do I? No, I don't have it. Okay, never mind. I'm not sure who the pitching matchup is going to be. We'll figure it out at some point, though. I could go to, someplace and look it up, but I'm not going to worry about that at the moment. It's not important because we're talking about payoff pitch. Higuera versus Rasmussen. You are correct. I remember that now. Higuera versus Rasmussen on payoff pitch. So the Yankees will have to sit some of their lefties most likely. I'll have to look at the actual lineup, but they probably sat Pagliarulo down and used Dale Bearer or somebody to play third. So we'll figure it out. But inside pitch is in the books. First game back, it was like Robert said, inside pitch is a really fun game. Whether you think it's as statistically accurate as Stratomatic or some of the other games, it is a fun game to play. Because I know it's rolling a lot of dice, but to me, especially if you've got a dice tray, it flows very, very well, and you get that anticipation of the second, dice roll to see what happens. Payoff pitch has a lot of good qualities on its own as well, but sometimes when you do payoff pitch, if you roll a 99, the guy's out regardless of what happened with the pitcher. So they both have their ups and downs. Most of them are ups. Very few nitpicks. For either game. Both are wonderful games. I'm looking forward to getting back to payoff pitch next Saturday. And after we do the payoff pitch game with the Yankees, we won't see any of the Yankees or the Mets for quite a while because I want to get all the other teams in there. So, in fact, I will read you off the tentative schedule that I have set up. I've got the schedule set up already on my computer. So I will read off, and the other thing I'm trying to figure out is on the fourth week, am I using APA or am I using Status Pro, or do I not use either one maybe and go and just do a 3-game cycle? But for the first 4 weeks, we've got tentatively scheduled Yankees in Milwaukee on payoff pitch, the White Sox at Detroit on Stratomatic, and Oakland at Boston on APA/Status Pro. Those are the first 4 games. And then when we get back to inside pitch on May the 10th, it'll be the Padres at the Cubs. And then we get one repeat again. Philadelphia will be at San Francisco on payoff pitch on the 6th week. Toronto at Cleveland on Stratomatic in the 7th week. And St. Louis at Cincinnati on APA around Memorial Day for week number 8. Those are the first 8 games that are tentatively scheduled. Everything is subject to change. And you're right, midlife crisis, the Nats replay, I was very happy with their stats. So to me, inside pitch not only is a fun game, but I think it's statistically pretty decent. I have a couple of nitpicks that I won't get into, but for the most part, I think it's a wonderful game. And I thoroughly enjoy playing both of these. I enjoy playing all the games, Stratomatic, inside pitch, payoff pitch. All of them are pretty good. History Maker, I have a ball with all of them. And that's the whole point. It's a hobby. You're supposed to have fun. So that's what we're trying to do, or at least that's what I'm trying to do. So I appreciate all you guys spending part of your Saturday morning with me. Going forward, unless something changes in my schedule like it did today, all these games are going to be occurring at noon Eastern time rather than 11. I just had to bump it up this week because of a late thing I had to do where I have to be somewhere at 1 o'clock. So I got basically 30 minutes to get there. So I'm going to wrap things up here so I can go do what I have to do. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed this presentation of NBC Game of the Week. Won't be quite as much pomp and circumstance as it was today, I don't think, for the other games. But since this is the first one, I felt like I needed to go overboard. And even if it meant being a little goofy, I went ahead and went with it. So that's going to do it from here. Hope everybody has a wonderful Saturday. If you like the current season, baseball is back. So we're back in full force. And the Masters is out there, so you got your choice of things to look out for. So thanks to everyone who came in to the live stream. And don't forget to go to Robert's channel tonight to watch the Royals and the Orioles from 1979, Larry Gura against Scott McGregor, a battle of cunning lefties, trying to keep those batters off balance. So that's going to do it from here. Again, hope you all have a wonderful Saturday. And until next time, I feel like I'm running the ground when I keep saying this, but it's kind of my catchphrase. It always has been. Till next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I'll see you all down the road.